So I'm sitting at the park in my car. No, I don't live in my car. I remember that. I remember that being, something people kept asking me because they kept showing me post videos in my car. You must live in your car. You're homeless. No, I'm just sitting at the park, chilling and having some meditation time. So anyway, again, I've been trying to post, I don't know, from my phone because I ain't really been editing nothing. But, I've just been really just working like crazy on my magazine. Go to bmagmobile.com and check that out. And I have been working on my photography and working on my graphic design business. And all of the links to all of that stuff is in the long description box. You can look on Instagram and see all my graphic design stuff and my magazine. I just really been trying to focus on, the kind of woman I want to be professionally. And, I always focused on my career. I always was thinking about that shit. But I think for the most part, lately I've been really just hesitant to handle the romantic part of my life. And someone asked me, they sent me an email asking me about Q, asking me, what's going on with me and Q. Me and Q. That's all that's been going on in my mind. I just can't understand, some of the complications that happen in people's situations sometimes. Like, sometimes relationships could be a lot easier if everyone did what they said they would or was who they say they are. And, my question to a lot of people is, do you really know who you are? Like, if you want people to believe you are a certain way, you have to consistently be that way. You can't say you're a nice person or a smart person or a fun person if you are always behaving in a completely opposite way, because that behavior will create a response in somebody else that is not as pleasant as you would hope. But a lot of people don't know themselves when they start to get into a relationship with somebody. And some people think they are this good person, or they think they're, a good person to have a relationship with. And then they get into the relationship and they realize they have a lot to do in regards to working on themselves. And it could be very hurtful for the person that you are in a relationship with if you decide that you want to try to figure out who you are after you have already become involved with this person. So, my biggest advice to, people in general, if you get into a relationship with somebody and you're having a problem trying to figure out who you are as a person, or, who you want to be career-wise or spiritually, or whatever the case may be, just remember that the person that's inside of your life is in your life for a reason. So the last thing you want to do is try to shut that person out if that person is trying to, be something positive for you. If the relationship or the friendship between you and another person becomes extremely difficult when you decide to change who you are, it doesn't mean that that's going to be that way forever. It just means that there's a certain level of adjustments that needs to happen inside of this relationship. And a lot of people run from a relationship or end a relationship a lot sooner than it has to be. They could have made a way better decision inside of the relationship and still be in a healthy, stable situation. Being in a healthy, stable relationship requires that you have a coping mechanism during these times where, you might change careers, or someone gets some type of illness, or maybe you guys have to move, or a new job, or maybe you have a baby on the way, or, just changes that happen every day, all day. You will forever be in a position to where you are working on yourself. It is a constant thing. You will consistently work on yourself over and over and over again for the rest of your life. You will always be a work in progress. So as a man or as a woman, when you start to grow or you decide that you want to be something new inside of a relationship, the last thing you want to do is break the relationship up because you feel like, oh, I need some space to work on myself. So when people tell me some shit like, I need some space to work on myself, I look at them like the selfish bastard that they are. I think that that's the most selfish thing that you could say to a person that you've been in a relationship with who has actually been helping you with your life. I think that is an excuse and a cop-out, and I hate when people say that shit to people. Like, I hear people tell me relationships that they've been in, and that person has said that stupid shit to them. Like, that is some dumb shit. But then people are like, well, it's fair if a person wants to have some space and work on themselves. There's nothing wrong with progress. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with progress. But when you are a partner, when you have entered into a partnership, the whole point was so the two of you could grow together. That's why you ended up in the relationship to begin with. Usually the agreement when you get inside of a relationship with someone is so you two can grow together. So the partnership can grow together. It isn't so you two can separate from each other every time you're going through something hard. Now, everybody has their own, way of handling things. Some people need some time to themselves to be able to figure out their feelings or their thoughts or whatever the case may be. But again, this goes back to whether you're selfish or not. If you are inside of a relationship, sometimes you got to factor in the people that you love or the people that love you and try to determine whether it's worth you crushing or destroying the situation in order for you just to grab a moment of peace or a moment of silence, which is something easy that you can do, as if what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't have to break up with somebody in order for me to drive to the park and take a couple of moments alone, or take a walk, or do whatever it is that I need to do in order to gather my thoughts together. I don't have to break up my entire relationship. And so when people say this, I want to work on myself nonsense, I think it's because they feel like however their partner is responding to that change, because sometimes partners respond to change in a way that they panic or some shit. So I think when people say that, sometimes it's relative to that. And I brought that up because people always ask me about where me and Q stand, and where me and Q stand is almost similar to that in regards to how we are with both of our lives. The way that we handling, our changes and our growth process and everything like that is very, like, I don't know, it's a very sensitive and very, like, complicated situation. So it's very hard for me to verbalize, where I stand with him. And I tell my stories because I want people to relate to what I'm going through and to understand that you're not alone when you experience little shit like what I'm talking about right here. Like, this is an experience a lot of people have. Oh, I need some space. I don't even know. Well, you know what? I've actually said that a lot. I've said that to Q. I've said I need some time. I need some space. But I don't think I've ever been like, oh, let's break our whole relationship up altogether and never, circle back. I think with time, you will always be able to tell whether this person is a family member, whether this person is here for the long run or the short run, or whatever the case may be. So, anyway, that's why I brought that up, and I just wanted to talk about that. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share. That's mainly it. That's all, folks, I guess.